with me is Dr. Stephan Langa. He has a presentation for us. Agenda kutubulira engeri gy'osobola okuyita mu mbuyaga mu bufumbo. So allow me hand over the microphone to him.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Stephan Langa, and I've been married the last 42 years in August, to be 42 years. My dear wife is called Beatrice, and Beatrice and I have 2 adult children. Our firstborn is married, and we are the proud grandparents of 3 grandchildren. So we are judges, and we've seen that side of life. My background is I trained as an electrical engineer from Nairobi University many years ago, and I worked in industry. Then we came back home to Uganda, and for 10 years, while I was a businessman, my wife and I led a group of married people in Kampala here. And actually, we are the pioneers of the concept of marriage fellowship, where husbands and wives meet regularly. Prior to that, there was only Fathers' Union and Mothers' Union in the Anglican Church, but there was no regular meeting for marriage. So we started that concept in Uganda, and we are glad to see that now it is more widespread around Uganda. Then, in 2001, my career changed from being a businessman where I had started 2 companies here in Uganda to now doing family ministry. And for a while, I tried to do both. Tried to run my business, and family couldn't work out. I had to choose one. So 2001, I sold off my business interests, and that's when we started Family Life Network. It's an organization, a non-profit organization, that helps to build family values and morals in our society. We have a number of programs, including for adults like you. We have a parenting course where we teach parenting, and we actually even give a certificate. And I'm glad to report that many hundreds of parents have actually benefited. And when one of the spouses even gets into this, it changes the marriage, it changes the whole family. So we are really glad to be part of that. Finally, we have something for youth, universities, and schools called BANG, stands for Becoming a New Generation, where we help equip young men and women with values, morals, and character, where they can live as responsible people. And we also give them skills and information of how they can prepare to become good husbands and good wives. So with that background, I'm going to share with you briefly about weathering the storm or riding the storms of marriage. Because, believe me or not, marriage has storms, marriage has challenges, and you better be prepared. You better be prepared. Because if you are not prepared, you are going to be a casualty. And a lot of the things that we see around today is actually people not preparing, people not taking the preparation time seriously, only to land there and to discover they were ill-equipped. And to just emphasize the importance of preparation, I want to illustrate it to the foundation. Now, there's a conference my wife attended, and I like the story she came out with. The presenter was a man who was a 4th generation builder. He was a builder, his father was a builder, grandfather was a builder, great-grandfather builder. And he says, when we are building a high-rise building, we come and fence off the place. And for weeks, sometimes months on end, you just hear noises, you just see trucks coming in, going out, you don't see any building. Where is the building? He said they are busy working on the foundation. After they've worked on the foundation, then, building the first floor, second floor, very, very easy, very, very fast. He said the reason they spend that much time is this. If you hurry, you don't fix the foundation well, you put up a 20-story house. One day, a crack will come on the 15th floor. You think, oh, let me just patch up, get some cement, I'll put it there and put paint. He said, right? He said, wrong. Because you are going to see it again on the 14th floor, then on the 5th floor, then. He said, the only way out is tear down the whole building, fix the proper foundation, and then now you can build. Ladies and gentlemen, the foundation of a marriage is what is going to determine. And I heard Dora talk about it. I was just sitting there. She said the foundation. So the foundation is very, very firm. People are busy running to relationship, running to marriage. They have not fixed the foundation. They have not fixed the foundation. And that's where the problem is. And so, what I want to do this afternoon is just to share with you the right foundation, so that when the storms come, they find you anchored on a firm foundation. All right. So, what are those foundations? I want to say that there are 3 foundations. The first one is personal. Personal. You need to prepare personally as a person. As a gentleman, as a lady, you need to prepare personally. And the first thing on a personal proof is that you need to be mature. You need to be mature as a person. We have people who are 30 years who are still children. We have people who are 40 years, they are still children. And for goodness sake, if you are still a child, leave marriage alone. Leave marriage alone. Yes. Because what is the difference between mature people and the children? I was once talking to S2 boys and they wanted to fool around with girls. Then I asked them, if we allow you to fool around with the girls and they become pregnant, what will you do? And they said, then I asked them, I am married. If I fool around with my wife and she becomes pregnant, can I handle it? They said, yes, you can handle it. I said, you see, that's the difference. You don't have the muscles, the emotional muscles to back up your actions. Okay? But I have. So whatever action I take, the consequences I can handle. That's maturity. That's maturity. So the first thing, as a person, you need to be mature. Secondly, you need to know who you are. You need to know who you are. And you need to accept who you are, with your strengths, with your weaknesses. Because if you don't accept who you are, it is going to be very difficult for you to accept your spouse. So you first need to accept your spouse. Thirdly, you need to be able to get along with other people. Just social skills, being able to hold conversation. You are going to need a lot of that. Fourthly, deal with your own baggage. Now, when we're just beginning our work, a group of us who do marriage ministry go together. And we ask ourselves, why are marriages failing? So we listed down about 15 things. Then we said, okay, let's put them in priority. What is number 1, number 2? High up on the priority was what you call baggage from the past. People have faced challenges as they're growing up. They've faced abuses. They've faced all kinds of trauma. They've not dealt with it. That undealt with trauma is like a baggage. You are carrying a baggage on you. So here now you enter a marriage, you enter a relationship, but you already have a baggage which you never dealt with. That baggage is going to come and ruin this marriage. It's going to come and ruin your parenting because you never dealt with it. So, while you're still single, before you bring somebody else into your life, deal with your own brokenness, deal with your own baggage from the past. And we all have baggage of some sort. None of us is an angel. None of us grew up in a perfect environment. So we need to deal with that. Because if you don't deal with it, it's going to come and will affect your... Then, be a person who is able to stand hardship. Modern people call it adversity intelligence. In other words, life is not easy. A day will come when you have challenges. When we celebrated 40 years of marriage, we had a Thanksgiving service. And then we were told, say something to each other. So I looked at my wife and I told her, you know what, honey? You've been with me through ups and downs. You've been with me when we didn't have money, and for 1 year we could not pay rent. Honey, you were with me when our electricity was cut off, and for 10 months we lived in a house with no electricity. You didn't run away. Honey, you were with me. We were in a house which does not even have water. And then I told her, you know what, honey? You stuck with me. So I'm going to love you for the rest of my life. Thank you. So those were challenges. Those challenges came. Had we not had the right foundation, when money disappears, they say, me, I'm out of here. And that's our, or this woman has brought me bad luck. Me, I'm out of here. No. Have the right foundation. Finally, in personal preparation, be a more godly person. All right, let me say that again. Be a more godly person. Why is that important? Two reasons. One, being a more godly person will help you to be able to live at peace with yourself. Okay? With yourself. Many people are not at peace with themselves. They are a civil war. So if you are a civil war, you can never make a good marriage. You will never manage marriage. When you yourself are a civil war, you are not at peace with yourself. Secondly, why being a godly person is important. It will help you develop qualities and develop characteristics that are necessary to keep a marriage stable and to weather the storms of life. Things like patience, things like forgiveness, things like long suffering, things like not keeping a bad record of your spouse. Those are things that are necessary to keep a marriage going. So you build it when you are a more godly person. Let's move to the second area. You need life skills, critical life skills. And I'm going to share only two. One, communication. Communication, communication. If you don't know how to communicate, or if you are poor in communication, you will not manage marriage. Because communication is the lifeblood of marriage. Just like we need blood for this body to function. In a marriage, you need communication for your marriage to be alive. So learn communication. And I'm not going to tell you here about that. You're intelligent people, you can find out about communication and how. The second thing is that you need to learn how to resolve conflict. Okay? That is a life skill, how to resolve conflict. Because there's no marriage that does not have conflict. Every marriage, even our marriage, we have times when we disagree, we have times when we don't see things the same way, and so on. So, the difference between a happy marriage and a stable marriage and one which is going on the rocks is the ability to handle conflict. And if you learn the ability to handle conflict, then let hell come, that marriage will handle it. Let any problem come, you will handle it. So, let me go to the third foundation. The third foundation is having the right understanding of marriage. The right understanding of marriage. Many people want marriage, they run into, but they have no idea what marriage is. And that's why they go in there, they find that it's not what they thought, it's not what they expected. Down. So, number one, marriage is a divine institution. Let me say that again. Marriage is not a cultural institution, it's not a traditional thing, it's not. Marriage is a divine institution. And you need to understand it as that. If you treat it like a cultural thing, like, a thing, just a modern, modern ways know how to do it, you are going to fail. You are going to fail. It will be like somebody where you have a plane and it has a problem. Instead of taking to people who make planes, you take it to a bicycle repairer. It will not work. 2, marriage is a covenant. I had it here. Marriage is not a contract. Marriage is not an arrangement. Marriage is not an agreement. Marriage is a covenant. And I want to share a few things about covenant. 1, until death do us part. 2, you live as one flesh. Not 2 separate entities, but as one flesh. 3, and this may surprise a lot of people. In a covenant marriage, every spouse should give the other one 100%. Even if the other one does not reciprocate, you give your 100%. A lot of people think, 50-50. I go 50, the other person comes 50, we meet in the middle. That is a business. That is not a covenant marriage. In a covenant marriage, you, as a husband, give 100%. A wife, give your 100%. Whether the other person gives theirs or not, it doesn't matter. You give your 100%. That is what covenant marriage is. Next, in a covenant marriage, the husband is the leader, the head, the wife is the significant and essential helper. Okay, mark my words. The husband is the head or the leader. The wife is the significant and essential helper. Not the slave, not the house girl. No. Significant and essential. Meaning that as a husband, you will not succeed if you don't get the help of this lady, this wife. And besides, covenant marriage is a marriage where 2 people come together for a divine assignment. Okay? Not just to have fun and all that. Yeah, those are the secondary part. But you have a divine assignment, divine work. Next, covenant marriage allows for mistakes and personal growth. In other words, in a covenant marriage is not of two perfect people, no, but of two imperfect people who have accepted one another. That is what a covenant marriage is. So when somebody makes a mistake, that's not the end. You still have a chance to win. Final but one on understanding. In covenant marriage, you accept each other as you are, with your strength, with your weaknesses. You accept your wife as she is. You accept your husband as he is. You don't try to change them. You don't try to manipulate them. You don't try to make another model of them. No. You accept them as they are, with their strength and their weaknesses. Then you adapt to that man as your husband. You adapt to that woman as your wife. That is covenant marriage. And then finally, marriage is not a perfect destination. All right? You are looking for a perfect destination, so you enter marriage and then perfection. No. Marriage is not a perfect destination, but it is a journey of growth. It's a journey of spiritual growth. It's a journey of emotional growth. Marriage will make you a better person. Before you used to be a selfish person, this with so many impurities. Marriage will clean up all those rough edges, all those, and make you a better person. Finally, how do you ride this storm? How do you ride this storm? One, know that you are not each other's enemy. Okay? You are not each other's enemy. Your spouse is not your enemy. No. But you are on the same team. Okay? We are now in the season of World Cup. Yes, this team is scoring that way. The other team is scoring. So, you are the same team scoring the other side. Don't be here and you score yourselves. Yeah? Many people are there in marriage, but they are scoring themselves because they see that they're each other's enemy. No. You score the other side. You are together with your husband, you're one team. That one is how you ride. Number two, know that your spouse is not the problem. You know, my wife and I counsel people. And I've heard so many times, this marriage would be good if this man would change. This marriage would be good if the woman would change. Hear me, wonderful people. Your husband, your wife is not the problem. The problem is the problem. Let me give you an example. Your husband comes home late, midnight every day. So what does the woman think? This man here is a problem. If he could come early, things would be solved. That's how most people think. From what I'm teaching you, here's the issue. The late coming is the problem. All right? Not your husband is the problem. The late coming is the problem. The problem is the late coming. So the late coming is the problem. So you need to put our heads together, work together. How do we solve this? How? Husband, what can we do? How can we do? Do we need to start saying certain things earlier? Do we need to make the atmosphere conducive? You know what? To deal with this late coming problem here. But the minute you say, you are the problem, you are late coming. Or to the woman, you are the problem. No. The problem is the problem. Your spouse is not the problem. Next. Empathize with one another. Put yourself in the shoes of your spouse. Don't always just be on your side, on your side. No. Empathize. Leave your position. Go to her position. Go to his position. And see things from their position. It will change many things. Rather than just sticking to your side. Go to the other side. Next, speak the truth. Speak the truth. Don't lie to your spouse. You can't build a strong marriage on lies. Speak the truth. If you did wrong, tell yourself. For me, I've accused myself to my wife. I've done something, then I've said, you know what? I have to accuse myself to you. I'm reporting myself. There's another man, and we had a conference that time, yes, in Uma conference hall there. And he said, you know me, what has helped me not to be in adultery is because the day I commit adultery, I'm going to report to my wife. Because he says for him, he lives a life of accountability. So he knows, if I'm going to report myself. I'm going to report myself. Because he knows he will not lie to his wife that, oh, maybe I was still at work when he was somewhere else. No. Speak the truth to one another. Then, next, keep dating each other. Keep dating each other long after the marriage. Up to today, I date Beatrice. In fact, the other day on Father's Day, the other Sunday, yeah, I took her out. From church, I took her out. Honey, you're not going to cook breakfast today. Let's go. I've taken my wife to Dubai. I've taken my wife to all kinds of places. I mean, name it. By the way, interestingly, when we clocked 40 years, the married group which we belong to in our locality sponsored Beatrice and I for 9 days of fully paid holiday in Bangkok. Yeah, clap for God, you know. Yeah. They paid the air ticket, they paid the visa, they even gave us pocket money. 9 days. And we're lovebirds there in Bangkok. Yes. So it is still possible. Up to today, I date my wife. Which we are not like too old or too many, those are for the young. No. We need to date until then. Then, finally, keep those magical words close to your lips. Those magical words that oil the wheels of life. Words like, I'm sorry. Words like, please forgive me. Words like, please. Words like, kindly. Those words. Keep them very, very, very close to your mouth. They will oil the wheels of life as you face the storms of life. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for Dr. Langa. That was beautiful. So in case you have any questions for him concerning riding storms of marriage, please, you can put up your hand and we will get a microphone to you. Yes, we have a question over there. We have a question over there at the back. Agambye bannanga abaami temulekeraawo kudeetinga bakyala bammwe ne bembanga mumaze emyaka 2 mu bufumbo. Omukyala mutwaleko autu, omukyala mugulira akateeteeyi akapya, mugulira akagatto, mugambe mukyala onyirira. Muzanye mwenna. Those are the things ebikuuma obufumbo bw'abantu. Yes. N'ekirala agambye obufumbo kintu si kyangu mubeeramu embuyaga nnyingi naye kasita mubanga muli omuntu omu nga musonyiwagana mutegeeregana teri kirema. Yes, please.
Thank you very much for the presentation. My question is under the personal.
Your name?
My name is Sylvia. Yes, you said that under personal, you need to have to be mature as a person You need to know who you are and accept it. You need to get along with other people, but how do you determine maturity? And then the other thing, having our culture whereby we are told to cover up, how best can one get to be self-aware so that they know how to pick the best partner? That's all. Thank you.
In as far as maturity, you need to, actually, there are 2 or 3 other tests which I didn't give. One of them is what they call reaction versus processing. Reaction versus processing. If I came and I slapped this gentleman, and then he just slapped me back, that one is immaturity. Immaturity, because that's reaction. But if I slap him and then he processes, should I respond? Should I not? Should I? Is this worth it? Is this not worth it? That is a mature person. So if you're the kind of person who you just react, things happen, you are still immature. You need to have an adult over you. That's one. Then another one is ability to postpone a gratification until a later time. If you brought children here, and you brought two children, and then there's one toy, they are going to fight for it. Then you come and tell them, okay, John, you have it for 1 minute, then Mary, you have it for the next minute. How are they going to react? No, I want it now. Okay? Children are not able to delay a physical gratification until a later time. They want it now, now, now. That's why an adult has to be over them. So similarly for you, if you cannot delay, you just want sex now, 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 now. You can't even delay. Look, it's not yet the right time, the right situation. You can't delay. You are still immature. You may be old in years, you are still immature. A mature person can wait, okay? Yeah. It's not yet time, okay, I'll wait. That is maturity. So that's how you can know that you're mature or you're still immature. Then, regarding, we are taught to cover up. You are taught to cover up. Now, one of the ways you can know that you have a problem is if in your life you have negative emotions. All right? In your life, you have some of them, for example, anger. You just feel bitterness. Inside you, you just hopelessness. And so many. So if in your life you have those negative emotions, and you wonder, why am I always angry? Why am I always bitter? Why can't I get along with others? Then that is a symptom that you have some issues which you need to deal with. So, since you are mature people, you can know where to get such help. I encourage you, go and get help. Because if you don't get that help, those negative emotions are going to show up when you are now relating. And the unfortunate thing about those negative emotions is that they tend to ruin relationships. That is the thing that they do. They ruin relationships. So do yourself a favor, do some self-examination, some self-reflection. Know why have a personal retreat and know what are those things that you need to deal with, and then you go ahead and deal with them. I hope I've explained.
Thank you so much. Any other question?
Yes, there is some other question.
Yes, by name Zov Haji Senyonga, Nohu. Mine is just a kind of a contribution, and okay, let me use my Uganda. amanya agange nze haji erinnya lyange nze Haji Senyonga Nuhu. Omukulu mpulire nga ayogedde ku kye ntuuse mu kikeerezi olwa commitments endala ze mbaddemu. Alina ekigambo ky'ayogeddemuko naye nze nenjagala okukiza mu perspective ya the Islamic way of life. Ayogedde n'agamba obufumbo nga bwe bagamba oba mu church nti mu bulamu ne mu buki okutuuka oba omuntu lwalikola ki bwalifa. Ate ffe mu busiraamu nga kyawukanamu era mbuuziza munange wano nti baleseyo asomesa nga akkiriza nga nze bwenzikiriza kubanga era mmanyi waliwo abakkiriza nga bwenzikiriza n'abamu tebakkiriza nga bwenzikiriza naye ne bakola nga bwenzikola ki bwenzikiriza. Nga mukyo nga ndaga point nti ffe nga obusiraamu tebutukkiriza kulemera ku mukyala oba kulemera omwami okulemera ku mukyala oba omukyala okulemera ku mwami. Oyinza okutwala omukyala ewaka ng'embeera gy'omusanzeemu si nnungi. Ffe obusiraamu bukulagira ku ssaawa eyo yennyini okkirizibwa omutta n'akuddiza amahale oba ggwe n'omutta n'agenda. Then point endala gye njagadde okwongerako, ffe kati mu busiraamu ennaku zino tusomesa abaana baffe sharing, ndoza mukiyita sharing mu luzungu, abaana baffe nti omukyala bw'ojja kusanga nga omusomo ogutambudde wano ogubadde gwogera ku mukyala ng'ali mu bufumbo omu, embeera eno weetuuse simanyi oba mwe mugiraba nti ojja kwesanga kyekiri kye mbagambye nti abamu bakkiriza bulala naye ne bakola nga nze bwenzikiriza. Nti abaana tubasomesa okuyiga co-sharing. Omwami ng'osobola omusharinga ne omukyala ng'asobola okubeera ku mwami ne mukyala munno omulala. Ng'ekyo kivudde mu kulaba nti abaana abawala kati mu dduniya bangi okusinga abasajja, ate n'abasajja abatwala obuvunaanyizibwa batono okutwaliza awamu, ng'ate bannaffe bangi abapretendinga nti batutte omu naye nga in the long run balina abantu babiri oba basatu. Ebadde contribution yange.
Can I answer? Thank you very much, Haji, for your submission. But I beg to differ. First of all, on polygamy, it is not true that there are necessarily more women than men, unless there has been some interference, some human interference. The way God does a population is usually there are about the same number of men as women. Unless there's a war, unless there's some other thing, abortion, and so on, that's when you have challenges. For example, in India and especially China, where they wanted one child, and because they wanted one child, when people would scan and see that it is a girl, they abort the girl. So then you had more boys. And between those two nations, between India and China, you'll find that there are now 100 million more men than there are women. Okay? So because man has interfered, so you find such situations. But otherwise, in a normal population where there's no human interference, it's a number of men and women. Then polygamy. Polygamy, I've done a lot of studies on polygamy. Polygamy, actually, many people are running away from polygamy these days. Even Islamic nations, there are Islamic nations which have outlawed polygamy. For example, Turkey has outlawed polygamy. Tunisia has outlawed polygamy. Yet they are Muslims. Because it doesn't work. Polygamy doesn't work. In fact, when you do research, the poorest nations are the polygamous ones. The most illiterate nations are the polygamous ones. The ones where there's most abuse are the polygamous ones. So really, it doesn't work. And so, as a person who is intelligent and a person who is objective, you need to evaluate these things yourself. Now, let me give you a quick acid test to help you, not just on this matter, but on any matter, to know whether is this matter True or not true? Number one, for those who are writing, historical. What is the historical background of this matter? Check it out. Is it credible or not credible? Two, does it work? Does it work? In other words, okay, let's follow. Monogamous, does it work? The other one, does it work? Three, is it compatible with reality? Is it compatible with reality? Four, does it enhance human rights, human dignity, peace, and all these wonderful good things? Does it enhance those things? And finally, does it offer hope? Does it offer hope? If you bring a couple here, a monogamous couple, and you bring issue of polygamy, and you check, evaluate them, which one has more hope? So those things will help you be able to know which one actually works, which one is credible, and which one is not credible. Thank you very much.
All right, so we're going to have 3 last questions, and we will move on to the next program.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mary. I have a question to Doctor. Doctor, in this trending world, we are looking at girl child mostly. We are empowering them. We are doing everything for the girl child. Yet we are leaving out the boy child, and they are the kings, and they are the holders of most marriages, because the man is the head of the family. But in most cases, even at such events, when they are hosted, we see only ladies attending these events. And these men who need really to hear how to handle these empowered women are out. How are you going to handle that? How are you going to handle these youths? How to handle these empowered women? Because women are really empowered, and even in marriages, they're empowered. I myself am a boy child advocate, and I look out for boys, but boys are left behind. That's why boys are getting arrested every time. They're behind bars. That's why they are saying there are few men, yet most men are behind bars. How are you going to work upon that as you, Doctor, and the team at large? Because I know this is a good place to talk about this. Yeah. These boys need to be empowered too, so that they can learn to handle these empowered women. Thank you, Doctor.
Mary, I totally agree with you, and let's compare notes after here, because I totally agree with you, and I agree with you that the boy child has been neglected. But we have programs where we are working to empower the boy child. So I totally agree with that, and we believe that that situation can and will be changed in the next number of years. So we are together on that.
Mbalamusiza abooluganda. Erinnya Prose Benita. Ekibuuzo ekyange Dokita kigamba nti obufumbo buno bwe twogerako bwe buliwa, kubanga ennamba esinga obungi bali mu bufumbo obutali mu mateeka. Ekyokubiri, omwami ng'alina abakyala 2 ng'ali mu bufumbo obutali mu mateeka, ate ng'amaze nabo emyaka emiwanvuko, kibeera kityawo? Ekirala, omuntu oyo okugeza ng'alina omwami mu bufumbo obutamanyikiddwa mu mateeka, ng'alina abaana era ng'alina omukyala, naye nga si bafumbo mu mateeka obumanyikiddwa, naye nga bawangadde ebbanga ddene, magezi kyawo g'omuwaawo? Neyanza Dokita.
Okay, let me begin with the last one. You have been with a man 20 years, you have got children, but you are not married. The only magezi I can give you is please work with him so that you can make your marriage legal. Because marriage is a legal thing. Marriage is not where you meet together, you go, you start having children. Even if you have children, you are not married, because marriage needs the following ingredients. Marriage, first of all, you must be above 18, number one. Number two, must be by consent. If you are forced, force is not allowed. Three, there must be witnesses. Witnesses. Fourthly, that marriage must be recognized by government, by the law of the land. Okay? Those are the four ingredients that are needed for a marriage to be marriage. So, if you find yourself, and like you said, the first one, many people are in just cohabiting and so on. For me, I encourage people to go ahead and get married. We have even organized what I've seen, and I've seen people organize here in Kampala, even in other places, mass weddings, where people say, oh, we don't have the money, we don't have the, okay. Because the most important thing is that vowing and that being, and the witnesses. So, if you don't have money, you can join and you have mass weddings, 100 couples, 500 couples, and you're wedded together. So do whatever you need to do. Then, the scenario where a man has 2, 3 women, he was in ignorance, and then now he comes into what we are talking about here. What I can say is, each case should be handled in its own merit. I cannot give a blanket response which will cover every situation. No. That one, let them go for counseling. They will be guided well on what to do. They will be encouraged how to handle all those women, how to handle all those children. There's guidance and there's counseling which can help with that. I think that's what I'll answer. Yeah.
Thank you. One last question.
Amanya gange nze kityo Muteesasira. Kansooke n'okusaba kino. Obufumbo bw'aboogera oluzungu si bubi nnyo. Aboogera oluzungu batono nnyo abayina obuzibu mu bufumbo. Naye omusomo gw'obufumbo ne gutuuka kuggwa nga guli mu luzungu lwokka, musuubira ki? Tewaliwo asobola kuvuunula, baba batasobola kuvuunula. Abo abasomesa Oluganda, abasomesa aboogera oluzungu nga boogera ku bufumbo, bafube nnyo bayiga Oluganda, abantu bajja kutegeera kye bagamba. Ekyokubiri ssebo, gwe tolaba nti kasita obufumbo bwavaamu ekyabaali basiimira abaana n'abaana okukola obufumbo, buli kimu awo wekyava okutabuka. Tolabira ddala nti abantu abeefumbirigana basinkana mu mabbaala ne mu bifo ebirala. Osuubira okutereera n'okumanya ekyokukola nga ne basenga bennyini ab'ensonga tebakyategeera bufumbo, nabo babagoba bugobi misinde gye bafumbirwa. Abo wanaatereera obufumbo bujja kuddamu bubeere bulungi.
Thank you very much. Now, about translating, that and I leave to the organizers. We have a program where we are working to strengthen families around the country. So, the way we are doing it is we go to a region which speaks the same language. and we sensitize them about this. Then we ask them to give us their resource people. Those who are already in marriage work, those who are already like those singers or any other people who are handling marriages. Then we train them. But we train them in English. But there should be people who understand English and who can also train in their mother language. And so, in that way, what we are teaching in English now is going to be available to everyone in their own language. So that one is in the process and will be done. Now, yeah, clap for, yes.
Tukitegedde bannange bagambe bagenda mu bitundu ebyenjawulo basomesa abantu ku byobufumbo ne basenga ab'enjawulo so kati bye babasomesa bagenda kuba babivunula mu nnimi ez'enjawulo ye nga ye alina programu eyiye ministry ye mwe basomeseza abantu ebyobufumbo naye nga mu nnimi ez'enjawulo.
Exactly. And that one, and now finally about whether Havana they're meeting in the bars and they don't know those things. There's a gentleman who is into social media. I don't know. I think this one, you translate, yeah. There's a gentleman who is into social media.
Waliwo omwami ali mu bintu bya social media.
He got married.
Yafumbirwa. Yawasa, sorry.
Yes. And he wanted to have a successful marriage.
Yali ayagala kubeera n'obufumbo obulungi.
So he sent out a question around the world.
Yagenda n'asindika ekibuuzo mu nsi yonna.
Help us so that we can have a successful marriage.
Mutuyambe tusobole n'okubeera n'obufumbo obulungi.
And there are two qualifications.
Waliwo qualifications ali bbiri.
You must be happily married for at least 10 years.
Olina okubanga omaze emyaka 10 mu bufumbo nga tebulina buzibu bwonna.
Or you divorced and you learned a lesson and you want us to learn that lesson.
Obanga wayawukana n'omwagalwawo.
And you learned a lesson.
Oba wayawukana n'omwagalwawo ne muddiŋŋana no.
No.
Waddamu n'owasa.
N'obeerako ky'oyiga.
Kale obanga wayawukana n'omwagalwawo n'obaako ky'oyiga. Kati awo osobola okubaweera advice.
He got over 1,500 responses.
Abamuddamu balinga 1,500.
1,500.
Yes, 1,500.
From all over the world.
Kuva mu nsi yonna, okwetooloola ensi yonna.
Covering all races, all religions.
Amawanga gonna.
All religions.
N'eddiini n'enzikiriza zonna.
Then he took 2 weeks to put together the responses.
Yamala wiiki 2 okukwata responses zonna ze baamuddamu.
And came up with 13 points.
Najja ne point 13.
Which make a happy marriage.
Ezireeta obufumbo obw'essanyu.
The first thing that shocked him was to see that the same principles are universal around the whole world.
Ekyasinga omwewuunyisa ebintu abantu be balina okukola okubeera n'obufumbo obulungi bye bimu okwetooloola ensi yonna.
Exactly. And the number one thing, the most important thing,
ekyali kisookera ddala
is that the two people must have common purpose.
Abantu ababiri balina okubeera n'omulamwa gwe gumu.
That's what we call living as one flesh.
Kye bayita okubeera mu mubiri nga gumu nga muli bumu.
That is the most important thing that will keep a couple together.
Kye kigenda okusinga okukuumira abantu ababiri awamu mu bufumbo obulungi.
That's what will make you know this is the right man, this is the right woman.
Kye kigenda okukuleetera okumanya ono ye mukyala omutuufu, ono ye mwami omutuufu.
Not the beauty,
si bulungi,
not the money,
si sente,
not the tribe,
si gwanga lye,
but common purpose.
Naye okukkiriziganya kwe okumu.
I want to end by saying this.
Ayagala kufundikira ng'agamba
When you take the trouble to do what you must do in order to enter marriage properly,
bw'otwala obuvunaanyizibwa okuyingira obufumbo obulungi mu butuufu bwabwo,
and you run it the way it was created to be. You run it the way it was created to be.
N'ogiddukanya mu ngeri gy'erina okubeeramu.
The way it was meant to be. Yeah? It will be a heaven on earth.
Kijja kubeera eggulu ku nsi.
Even if there will be problems, but it will be a heaven on earth.
Ne wanaabaawo ebizibu byonna lijja beera ggulu ku nsi munyumirwe.
But if you run it according to your own ways,
naye bw'oddukanya obufumbo kusinziira ku ntegeeraayo,
or according to the way it was not created to be,
oba okusinziira ku ngeri gye bataagitondera kubeera,
it will be hell on earth.
bujja beera geyeena ku nsi.
And the choice is yours.
Okusalawo kukwo.
We have lived 42 years.
Amaze mu bufumbo emyaka 42.
And we know it is possible.
Era bamanyi kisoboka.
My wife and I are different tribes.
Mukyala we naye bamawanga gali different
tribe. I'm from eastern Uganda, she's from Buganda here.
Mukyala we Muganda, ye ava mu east.
But God has given us a happy marriage.
Mukama abawadde obufumbo obulungi obw'essanyu.
Thank you very much and God bless.
Banange tumukubire ku bugalo. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Langa. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a beautiful session. I hope and I believe that we've picked something, and we really thank you so much. Doctor, those who want to see you, those who want to meet you and have a chat with you, where do they get you?
Okay, we have different programs. Let me give you my contacts.
Banange muwandiike number ye
0772
noti 772
476
476
071.
noti 71.
Let me say it again. 0772
noti 772
476
476
071.
noti 71.
And it is on WhatsApp.
Era eri ne ku WhatsApp.
And I want to say that for us, we go to everyone. We deliver our message to everyone. Whether you are, whatever your religion is, us we will come.
Obubaka babusindika eri buli omu. Yonna gy'oli bajja kusangayo.
We don't isolate, oh, this one is this religion or the other. All.
Tebasosola mawanga.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much, Doctor. Another round of applause for Dr. Langa. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
Download the app on App Store or Google Play Store now. Vision Digital Experience, the future of media.
New Vision TV. Stream smart, stream New Vision.